You know what, guys? I'm not sure if I should start this off like a traditional review because you know what?
Should.
This isn't a review, and I don't mean to throw hands at other YouTubers right now.
I kind of do mean to throw hands at other YouTubers,
Which is why I'm
right
making
now.
this video, because a lot of people are not getting the point of
Kong Skull Island.
Alright, so if you had checked the Rotten Tomatoes score right now, you would know that Kong Skull Island has an 83%, which is actually very respectable.
Just solid.
And
Very, very solid.
John,
Rotten
you
Tomatoes.
want to grab your phone real quick, just so we can read the consensus to everybody?
What's the consensus of Kong Skull Island? Let me see.
While he's looking that up, what we thought of the movie is it's basically a very fun, dumb blockbuster that if you don't think about too much, the plot makes enough sense. It's a great action movie.
It's a shallow movie, but that doesn't mean it's not well done.
It's super fun. The action scenes are great.
It's not perfect by any means.
Right.
That's not what we're saying, but it was a solid-ass action movie.
It was fun.
Critic reviews, consensus, Rotten
Okay.
Tomatoes. Offering exhilarating eye candy, solid acting, and a fast-paced story, Kong Skull Island earns its spot in the movie monsters mythos without ever matching up to the classic original.
That's a perfect
That's
consensus.
perfect.
Now, sorry to call these people out, but a few YouTubers, examples Jeremy Johns and Chris Stuckman, have really criticized this movie, and it seems like to me they're completely missing the point.
I think they got it pretty much wrong, to be honest.
Pretty wrong. Let's start with Chris Stuckman first. Chris Stuckman, I really like your reviews if you're watching this, or I like
I'm a
his
big
reviews.
fan of your guys' reviews too. You know, Chris Stuckman, you talk about Marvel a little too much sometimes, but you know that's okay. We talk about Batman vs Superman too much too,
Too
and
much
that's
too.
okay.
We like that maybe a little bit too much. Anyways, that is a pretty like your reviews, and you have a very great talent of dissecting film and revealing the layers of different themes and topics, and I really enjoy that. But for Kong Skull Island, I think you got it a little bit wrong. Because you were criticizing that this movie was poorly directed.
I don't think it was poorly directed at all.
I think that's the thing. You said that it was poorly directed, the script was pretty weak, and that everything in the movie felt kind of synthetic with the green screen. And you said that the 1970s vibe didn't mesh together at all. And you criticized a lot of the human action, and that you were okay with the Kong action. You said that was good, and I agree with you on that part. But everything else, I really kind of got to talk to you about. And it kind of bothers me because you gave this movie a C-. And, you have your opinion, that's fine. We live in a free country, that's great. But I kind of just wanted to kind of disagree here. Because Kong Skull Island was meant to be a very dumb, fun action movie. And sure, because it has the weight of the name King Kong, which is a pretty classic movie, and it's actually been remade very well the last few times. And those films prior focused more on the characters. Overall, Kong was more of a sympathetic entity, and it was definitely fleshed out a lot more. But this time, they went ahead and threw away all those conventions and said, you know what? Let's make this a fun action movie.
It embraces the silliness of monster movies, I think.
Exactly.
It embraces like the classic of like old school monster movies, just the pure ball to the wall silliness. I think that the thing I saw in both Stuckman and Jeremy Johns' review that they both had a big gripe with was the characters saying they were shallow and you didn't care about them. And I agree that they're shallow, they're not well written, they're not fleshed out, but they serve their role. It's okay. Everyone, good performances, first of all.
For sure. Especially from Samuel L. Jackson and John C. Reilly. They had a lot of charisma. They
were not bad characters at all.
They were really fun to watch.
Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson's characters they're very simple. They're just there to do what they're there to do.
They were fun.
But that's okay. I was entertained watching them. They served their part in this movie. I got what I wanted from it.
Now, I understand in Godzilla 2014, the characters, although they were given more screen time, really weren't that much more fleshed out. And they were kind of typecast. You have the soldier who's, trying to get back to his son, and then you had the son-father relationship. It just wasn't that well done compared to other films. Mm-hmm. And I think that the characters and the overall enjoyment I had of watching the characters in Skull Island, I had a lot more fun watching them than I did watching the characters in Godzilla 2014.
And guys, I think both of you are big fans of Marvel, and a lot of the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe don't really have characters that are that fleshed out beyond anything that's in this movie.
Right, and if we're going to talk about things, that don't make sense to the plot, and crap like that, and how maybe the story wasn't great, think about Age of Ultron for a bit. And I really enjoyed Age of Ultron, but that movie's plot and that screenplay is all over the freaking place.
It really is.
It's bloated, it's messy, and the fact that gets, a B+ or an awesome-tacular rating. When this film is actually a lot more lean, it's fast, it's streamlined, it's very effective, and overall, it's just a very fun story to watch, and I was very interested to see what happens next. Now, something I do want to bring up that Chris Stuckman, you brought up particularly, was you didn't particularly like the directing in this film. You said, quote unquote, that it was poorly directed, and I have to disagree with you wholeheartedly.
I just don't agree with that.
Dude, this movie was very well directed. All the shots were great, especially to just show the spectacle of Kong Island. And when crap was hitting the fan and all the human action scenes were going on, everything was frantic and you could see it, but it was directed in a way to where it sucks you into the intensity of the situation without sacrificing any artistic elements. We had a lot of really cool shots of guns, going down the sights, or just cool tracking shots of certain things.
I think one of the things that's great about the direction and cinematography of this movie is that it manages to have a huge scope. You just feel, the whole movie just feels huge and like you're really on this island without going full ridiculous Michael Bay Transformers type of thing. It keeps the human element and keeps the intensity while still having a very broad scope that you can kind of lose yourself
agree.
in.
Also, the special effects for the most part in this film were excellent.
The monsters were so cool!
They were really good. The monster designs were great. You have to really give credit to Skull Island and the 1973 segment it was in. Because this film does a really good job of making you feel like you're in 1973 and you guys didn't think that...
I remember Stuckman, you hated the setting, and that's
you
just
didn't
not...
like how it meshed together.
I don't know, I just don't know what you're...
I thought it was original. I thought it was cool.
I don't think we watched the same movie, man. Did you walk into another Kong Skull Island that was playing at your local cinema?
But anyways, I just want to say, again, you guys are great for having your opinions. You guys are great critics.
But they're also objectively wrong.
But we had to disagree with you here because there's a lot of people that are watching your reviews, and I don't want them to think that this movie's garbage, because when you go into a movie with a critic's perspective in mind, whether you like it or not, it does have an opinion on how you view a film, and at the end of the day, you're going to like a movie or you're not going to like a movie. But if you go into this movie with an open mind, like we did, I think you're going to have a ton of fun with it. And I don't think that that's fair. Now, the last thing I want to bring up, it's more of a minor thing. You guys said that some of the green screen wasn't very, or you said that the majority of the special effects in this movie weren't very convincing and it didn't mesh well with the environments. Gotta disagree with you on this. I think this is a beautiful looking movie.
This guy is a green screen stickler.
I remember occasionally, there's like 3 shots in the movie where it's just like, okay, that looks a little shady, but for the most part, it blends very well, especially...
You have accused things of being bad green screen that weren't green screen. You've looked at scenes and been like, that green screen sucks, and we found out later that it was real. So I know that if there was bad green screen in this movie, you would have pointed out.
I would have, gone crazy.
So this movie has pretty solid effects.
Right. Also, the cinematography by Larry Fong. Damn, this movie is great. It's very vibrant looking. It feels like 1973. It's very reminiscent of Apocalypse Now. In a lot of ways.
Takes a lot of notes from that.
Which is super cool. I mean, who would have thought that a dumb action movie would mix that together? And it ends up being really cool. This movie is just a pop culture 1973 blockbuster that makes fun of monster movies, and it's a lot of fun.
It's just a fun, cool movie. It's really cool. That's like the word I can use to describe it.
Exactly. And the last thing, this is the big thing here, and this is something that across the board all critics should know. There are certain films that are different in structure. You have the summer blockbuster, which is meant for you to turn off your brain and just watch and have a good time. And then there are films like Logan, for example, which is kind of...
We just reviewed Logan.
Which is more of a drama. A film is something like Drive. A film is something like, heck, Kurt Stuckman, Only God Forgives. Film is meant to be looked at from an artistic point. It's more or less, it is a form of entertainment, but it's more of an art form. Because film isn't always fun to watch. Sometimes it's emotionally scarring. Sometimes it can be disturbing. It's meant to be a canvas for a artist to convey what he's trying to convey to the audience. That's a film. A blockbuster is meant for fun. It's meant for entertainment. It's meant to be loud. Of course, the most popular blockbuster of all time, Independence Day, I'd go ahead and say that that's it. I think all you guys really enjoyed Independence Day, and it had the same freaking issues as Kong Skull Island.
And you
did.
guys just held this movie to a weirdly different standard to me. Because
Yeah,
like I
exactly.
said with Marvel before, a lot of Marvel movies that you guys have given much more positive reviews to have the same types of issues. I just think you went to this movie kind of expecting something more like Godzilla 2014 or the King Kong movie from earlier in the 2000s.
Yeah, 2005, Peter
Yeah.
Jackson, which is great. It's a
And those
great
are great
film.
movies, and this is by far a perfect movie. When
Not
we
a
do get a
perfect
monster cinematic universe, I do want more of a fleshed out story. I do
Mhm.
want more fleshed out characters. I will say that. That if we get this again for the other movies, such as Mothra or Ghidorah or whatever, I won't be happy with that. But this movie on its own, I thought packed a punch and was a ton of fun.
Exactly. So, guys, we said it a lot. This isn't throwing. I mean, we're criticizing your opinion.
I'm throwing shade.
We're calling you guys out on this. But you know what?
Boy!
We like you guys. You guys are great critics, and if you guys have any thoughts on this, love to hear what you guys think. But
And if you guys want to meet up and fight, fly out to Miami.
yeah,
We'll do
fly out
it.
to Miami. We're here for you guys. Anytime, bring your squad. Except Flick Pick. That guy's pretty big. I'm not sure if I can take that guy out.
You and Flake Pick would be an interesting fight.
Oh God.
I'd
Yeah.
pay to watch that.
But anyways, guys, this is friendly criticism. Just wanted to say a few things about that, just because it kind of bothered us a little bit. But anyways, if you guys are watching this, I hope you enjoyed our criticism. Love to hear your thoughts about it. And to the audience, I hope you guys really go into Kong Skull Island with an open mind. Have fun with it. You can't look at every film like Citizen Kane, because not every movie is meant to be Citizen Kane.
Alright, guys, I'm John.
I'm Jonathan.
Have a great day.